The invitation arrived on a Tuesday, translated into English by a courtesy algorithm. That still couldn't get the idioms right. The Assembly of Starlit Peoples requests the presence of the species designated. Humanity at the Concord of First Voices. Ambassador Elena Ruiz read it twice, then set it down on the podium of the United Nations General Assembly. 200 delegates from Earth's nations watched her, waiting. They want an answer by Thursday, she said, or they proceed without us. Nobody in that room knew what the Concord of First Voices actually decided. Nobody outside 100 alien governments did either. It had convened, by the calendars translated into Earth's system, every 11 years for the last 4,000 years. It decided borders. It decided war reparations. It decided once the fate of an entire species that had made the mistake of developing weapons before wisdom. Earth said no, not out of arrogance. Out of caution? The first 3 ships that had approached Earth's solar system, scouts, probes, nothing hostile, had been met with silence and a closed door. Earth's governments, for once united on something, agreed. We do not know these people. We will not sign anything, join anything, or owe anything, until we understand exactly what we are dealing with. The Concord took the refusal as an insult. Word spread across 100 worlds. The humans are afraid. Humans are backward. The humans do not know their place. 11 years passed. The Concord convened again. Earth said no again. 11 more years. No. 33 years of silence. And somewhere in the great shattering network of alien civilizations, the story of Earth calcified into legend. The primitive little blue world that hid behind its atmosphere and refused every hand extended to it. Some species pitied humanity. Some mocked it. A young diplomat in training named Thres Calvith, from a world called Orden, actually wrote her graduate thesis on it. Isolationist extinction patterns among pre-contact civilizations. She used Earth as her primary case study. She assumed, like everyone else, that humanity would eventually be swallowed by a species less patient than the Concord. She was wrong. Everyone was wrong, because Earth had not been hiding. Earth had been building. 33 years is nothing to a species that measures its own history in millennia. But to humanity, recently unified, recently spacefaring, recently furious and nearly losing a war with itself before it ever looked to the stars, 33 years was enough. Enough to mine the asteroid belt. Enough to build shipyards in orbit around Mars, around Jupiter's moons, around a dozen quiet places no alien probe had ever bothered to map. Enough to turn every nation's rivalry into a single shared ambition. Never again will we answer a knock on our door without knowing exactly who is standing there and exactly what we can do about it. When the Concord of First Voices convened for its 4th attempt at contact, the invitation went out as a formality. Nobody expected an answer. The humans always said no. This time, the sky over Concord's neutral meeting world, a moon called Visara, chosen 1,000 years ago for its emptiness, did not stay empty. They didn't announce themselves. There was no dramatic radio hail, no blaring anthem, no grand entrance speech. There was only a ripple of gravitational distortion that every sensor array in the system picked up at once, and then the sky over Visara was full. 1,000 ships. Not scouts, not probes. Warships, sleek, dark, and utterly silent. Arranged in formation with a precision that made 3 separate alien admirals reach for emergency channels before their hands stopped, because there was nothing to defend against. The ships weren't attacking. They were simply there, filling the orbital space like a held breath finally released. On the surface, in Concord's ancient amphitheater, a single human woman walked to the center dais. She wore no armor, carried no weapon. Ambassador Elena Ruiz, 33 years older. Her dark hair, now streaked with gray, looked out at delegates from 140 worlds who had, for 4,000 years, decided the fate of every species smaller than themselves. "You asked why we never came," she said, and her voice, amplified and translated into 40 languages at once, did not shake. "You called it fear. You called it arrogance. It was neither." She let the silence stretch. Above her, through the amphitheater's open dome, the fleet hung in perfect wordless formation. "We did not know you, so we did not trust you. And we spent every year learning to make sure that whatever answer you got from us, it would be an answer given as equals, not petitioners." She looked, deliberately, at the delegate from Orden's Row, where a stunned Thres-Calvith sat with her thesis still open on the data slate in her lap. "We are not here to join your Concord as students. We are here to sit at this table as your neighbors, with our own vote, our own voice, and our own fleet standing behind both." For a long moment, nobody spoke. 4,000 years of unbroken tradition had never once seen a species arrive at First Voices already armed, already sovereign, already finished deciding who it was before anyone else got to decide it for them. Then the Orden delegate, the eldest among them, a diplomat who had sat at this table for 2 centuries, rose slowly to his feet and did something no record showed had ever happened at a Concord meeting. He bowed, one by one. Table by table, delegate by delegate, the amphitheater followed. Ambassador Ruiz did not smile. She simply nodded once. The way you nod to someone you respect rather than someone you've defeated, and above them, silent and steady, the ships of humanity kept watch, not as a threat, but as a promise. "We are here now, and we are not asking permission to stay." Thres-Calvith closed her thesis on the data slate. She would need to write a new one.